Hey, everybody. Good morning. How are we? Are we ready to rock some LinkedIn? Good morning, Deanna. Are
Woo!
you with us? Oh, yeah, you are. Hi.
Good morning.
Okay. Wow. So we were in practice mode, Deanna, and I had that full disclosure. I'm like, how come nobody's on the webinar? And then when we clicked off that, everybody's on. So we thought
Yay!
okay, so we're normal. Like, did we send a cancellation or what? Okay. Cool. Welcome, real estate world. And what we found out about is we have tons of friends and colleagues across the country that are not in real estate watching these things. So, welcome to all you. I see a couple of my favorite asset managers in the REO industry. Who else do I see? Ooh, we got top producing agents. And oh, good, my coach. Hope you're liking this, buddy. All right, so here we go. Deanna, again, thank you as always for
Mhm.
putting our slides together and getting ready to teach us some invaluable stuff. My name is Mike Bjorkman. If you don't know me, I'm the broker owner of HomeSmart NCG in Santa Clarita, California, near Magic Mountain, and that's Southern California for those of you who don't know. Deanna Miller, my buddy, my co-founder of Social Stark Social. Oh, marketing director, fancy titles. I love this. Deanna helps me with all my companies and all my social media because, let's be honest, there's too much to do. I like to do my personal Facebook, my personal Twitter, my personal Instagram, but then we have all the businesses and all those pages. So she helps organize and keep us good with that. She does reputation management and special projects, and she's sick of me talking about her. I went to the next slide. Since we do this for free, two things must happen. Number one, you have to publicly thank Deanna for helping you and putting all her heart and soul into this. And I get to talk about HomeSmart. What we try to do is talk about HomeSmart and let agents get to know about our industry leading tools and technology. 100% commission. You pay $49 a month, which is a measly $600 a year. And that particular fee goes to our MLS integration, which comes to the tools. You automatically get an awesome website. It automatically creates single property websites, automatically creates virtual tours, QR codes, tons of marketing, the absolute best listing presentation in the industry as far as I'm concerned, and everything you need to compete with the number one agent in your area right now today when you join. And for $499 a transaction, there isn't a better company in the world. That's why we are the fastest growing company in the nation. I think we're the third largest company in the nation now, and we are well over 10,000 agents. And boy, what a company to work for. All right, there's my 30-second commercial. A couple things you guys need to know. We got a lot of new people on here and people I've never even heard of. So you guys need to join these Facebook groups so you can learn more about the webinars. For instance, next week is Google AdWords, which is like I don't even want to do this one. I just want to skip and go to that. I'm so excited. But search this out. Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series. Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series. That's the top one. That'll give you all the social media tips and tricks you could ever imagine. And then the goodbye.
Oh, where'd it go?
I don't know. So
There
and
it
then the
is.
second one is the HomeSmart Next Level Training Series. It's hard to read at the bottom; it got cut off somehow, but it's HomeSmart Next Level Training Series. I put tips and tricks in that just to help you realtors out how to be successful. Everything's always free; we never sell anything, and then we put replays of these in those groups and a lot more. So make sure you join those Facebook groups, or life is going to be very complicated for you. All right. Our podcast and this webinar has really helped with our podcast. Thank you very much for all the 5-star ratings and all that good stuff. Mine is the Real Estate Marketing Show. It's about agents in real life learning how to be very successful in this industry. It takes you everything from how to choose a brokerage to for sale by owners to open houses to sphere of influence. It never stops. And we're going to be adding a whole lot of content really soon. Deanna's webinars or excuse me podcast is a social life and boy, she gets pretty intense on there and talks very specifically about social media, how to use it properly, which platforms to use, and work smarter, not harder. It's a cliche thing, but trust me, in the
Mm.
real estate business, this podcast will help you out. And Deanna and Nathan do a great job on that. So make sure you guys subscribe to that. And all right, let's start talking about LinkedIn a little bit. For those of you that do not know me, I hate LinkedIn with a passion. I can't stand it. It is the absolute worst, most boring thing in the world to me. However, let me tell you why I leave it on the front page of my phone and I'm active as much as I can be on it. Here's the deal: successful people, business owners, managers, high up in corporate America, trust me, these people aren't on Facebook and they don't want to see you on Facebook if they have it. So the way they work in their professional life and lifestyle is by LinkedIn. They interview you, they watch you, they stalk you. If you're not properly placed on LinkedIn, you do not have a chance of getting a high up corporate person because that's all they know in their life. I've sat around tons of corporate events and listened to them talk about LinkedIn the way some of us talk about Facebook and Snapchat and stuff. And it might be geeky to me, but it's real for them. Um, I often say LinkedIn is a place for high up corporate people to brag about themselves, and that's really what they're doing. They're putting everything they got out there in the professional world. So if they ever get laid off or if they need to sell a company, there's a lot of activity based around them. And hey, that's exactly what they do to interview you. So you better have your stuff together. Now, a couple things I'll go into it a little bit more later, but I have gotten a lot of business, specifically luxury short sales, default REO from LinkedIn. Those are my biggest ones. That'll add up to probably a few $100,000 a year. So if that doesn't get your ears perked up, and remember, I don't pay for LinkedIn; it's all free. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. So Deanna, thank you for doing this. Take over.
Yay, absolutely. And I just want to reiterate what Mike said about that last part there. It's free. A lot of people email me about, should I upgrade to premium? Should I do this? Should I do that? You can accomplish pretty much everything that you need to do with the free LinkedIn profile. If you're an HR recruiter and you're looking to build a bench for your team, then there are tools and tips and technology that's available in that premium pay LinkedIn that is definitely ideal. But if you're just a person who has a business, you're a real estate agent, you're like me, you're like Mike, you can get everything that you need to do done with the free LinkedIn. And my first tip for today is to use your headline wisely. And what is your headline? Well, it's this little thing that appears underneath your name. A lot of people have come to me and asked me for help with cleaning up their LinkedIn over the last few years. And I do it, and it's really, really easy and simple, because the mistakes that people tend to make is putting too much information on LinkedIn that isn't relevant or that is distracting or doesn't really tell anyone what you do and why they should hire you and what's important about the services that you offer and who you are. So we have here for Mike's headline is he's the owner broker at HomeSmart NCG and SUVleasing.com. Very simple, very straight to the point, very concise and clear about who he is and what he does. And then what you want to make sure that you're remembering about your headline is it needs to be as short and concise as possible. This is not a place to add your value proposition. This is not a place to write a paragraph about how things went with your last sale. Those are the types of things that you want to include in your summary or in your work description. So your headline needs to be short, concise, clear, straight to the point. Working on your image. Now, a lot of people ask me this question. Now, Mike has great professional headshots, and we use them on all of his social media for all of his social channels. If you don't have professional headshots, that's okay. You want to use a good image of yourself, something that has a nice light background so that people can see your face. It's really as simple as, do your hair, get dressed in something nice on the top. It doesn't have to be a full suit, but put on something nice, do your hair, and have somebody take a picture of you against a white wall. It doesn't have to be a super professional headshot, something that is, if I see this picture and then I meet you in person, it's going to be very clear that you're the same person. A few things that I've come across is putting family shots for your LinkedIn profile picture. Definitely a no-no. You want to stay away from anything that includes your family or your friends or your dog or your cat. You want to make sure that it is a picture of you and that it illustrates who you are as a professional. So even if you've got a nice shirt and tie or a pretty top on, it doesn't matter if you've got, sneakers on the bottom. That's fine. Just make sure that the picture is current, And if somebody meets you, let's say you're going to preview a property, if you show up at their house and they've looked at your LinkedIn profile, they're going to recognize you, and it's not a picture from 1996. That's really, really important. That's probably in the top 5 things that I end up changing when I'm cleaning up somebody's LinkedIn profile is their picture. I've had people who have had, pictures of just their cat and not themselves. So make sure it's a picture of you, it's a picture that's current, and it's a picture that's clear, so that people, when they meet you, they recognize you and they don't think it's some sort of scam or something crazy that's happening, and then you don't get hired. Design a clean background image. So you'll notice here that I've done this really quickly with, this is a Canva. I wanted to show everybody what this kind of stuff looks like. So I created this background image with Canva. You can do all kinds of stuff with it if you're a just getting started, not yet ready for Photoshop person. This clearly shows the 2 different logos of Mike's 2 different companies. You can do something as simple as just picking a picture of a listing. If you have a really great listing, you can stick that in the background and that can be your picture. If you have a picture of your office or your business or your team, you can edit that into the right size so that you can put that in the background. It just has to be clean and clear and not pixelated. Try to do your best not to have, I actually have had people who have sent me really, really tiny images and they say, can you stick this in my background? No, I can't, because it's got to be a big, big image. They want big sizes. And if you need tips for that, again, you can go to Canva and they have a predetermined size with templates and stuff for that. So easy peasy, no extra thought, no having to download their template. But make sure that your background image is clear and concise. You're selling yourself and you're selling what you do. So you want to make sure that that is absolutely clear as a bell. Make your summary pop. So a lot of times what people will say to me is, I don't like writing about myself. Well, that's fine. You don't have to write about yourself in, writing a novel. Give yourself a good paragraph about what you do, what your goals are, what it is that who you work for, why you're the best, what kinds of things have you accomplished. What I like to do is I like to start with bullet points. I will ask some basic questions: the who, what, when, where, and why. And if you can answer those questions about yourself, you can put together a really simple paragraph about who you are, what you do, why someone should hire you, how you got started, and where you are and what you want to do with yourself. Then you can always add video. LinkedIn has increased its ability to do all kinds of neat things with video, with linking to websites. They want people, professionals, to utilize LinkedIn for not just recruiting. It's becoming this professional social network where people come together to meet and get to know each other, and like Mike said, brag a little bit about what they're doing. So if you work for a company like HomeSmart and they have any kind of video content available to you, even if it's canned video about home sales, maybe you put something really, really quick together about who you are and what you do. It doesn't have to be super clean and professional, edited, gorgeous. It just has to show people exactly who you are and what you do. So Mike has this really great professional video that we've put into his summary. So when people visit his LinkedIn profile, they can click on that video and learn a little bit more about how Mike sells homes, what he does to market them, what he does to list them, the kinds of effort he puts into making sure that that property is seen by everyone. Now, you might not all be real estate agents, so that's fine. But what you might be looking to focus on is building that sales funnel. So if you do a quick and short video, maybe you have someone in your office or at your business location, just do a quick video with you someplace quiet with a light background where you can talk about who you are, how you got started, and you can maybe riff a little bit off of what your summary is. So once you've written that who, what, when, where, why, and how summary, you can do a little bit of not necessarily reading it word for word, but talk about that. And then you can stick that in your summary. And it's super, super easy. Once you've uploaded it to YouTube, all you have to do is copy and paste the link. Super easy. It takes absolutely no professional technical skills whatsoever to make your LinkedIn summary pop.
Yeah, and I have a
Keep
quick
your,
little question for you, and I know I'll forget later.
oh yeah, sure.
I see people use their LinkedIn profile address everywhere. Like, professional people that say, "Hey, check out me on LinkedIn." Would you recommend that for real estate agents to put LinkedIn or their business Facebook page in their addresses, like their email address?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm going to show you how to create a custom URL for your name
Okay.
in one of the upcoming slides, but absolutely,
I just can't believe
definitely.
how popular that is now. And I was on mute geeking out on my LinkedIn profile, but the agents that we were just or that just listened to where we were talking about that video over
Yeah.
and over and over again, when people contact me through LinkedIn, they just say, "Hey, Mike, I just watched your video on LinkedIn, or I just watched your video on YouTube. I was very impressed. I'd like to talk to you." So you guys take video very seriously. We're gonna have a YouTube training, but for now, you might want to get that going. And if you don't know how, contact me, and I'll help you get those started. All right, sorry, go on.
No, absolutely. You want to keep your work experience relevant. Probably one of the other top 5 things that I have to do all the time is get rid of work experience that is no longer relevant. So if you're no longer working someplace, you want to get rid of old work experience. LinkedIn used to be a place where you gathered all of your past work experience to show how awesome you were. That's not the case anymore. If you are currently a real estate agent and you used to work at Nordstrom, that's not going to be supportive of what you're doing if it's 15 years ago. You want to get rid of all of that irrelevant work experience that no longer speaks to who you are, why people should hire you, what you're doing, and how you are valuable. So get rid of all that old work experience. Again, add videos to your experience that illustrates your expertise. Do you have a really cool property that you have listed? It's a luxury property, $1 million home, blah, 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 blah. Do a quick video and stick it in there. And then set yourself a reminder to take it out when that property is sold. You want to make sure that you're linking to your website landing page, or if you have Tour Factory, this is something I've added for people. If you have someplace where you're keeping your listings and you want people to find them when they visit your LinkedIn page, stick that in your experience. Stick it in your summary. You can link to websites all throughout the summary and the work experience, and that's perfectly okay. Don't be afraid to brag about yourself when it comes to LinkedIn. You're selling yourself to potential clients. And I hear this all the time when I attend social media real estate trainings. I think the last statistics that I saw from the most recent study came out is that 45% of people who are searching for a real estate agent will check to see if they're on LinkedIn. Now, the numbers are going to continue to grow because, like Mike said, the people that are looking on LinkedIn are those owners of high-end luxury property. They're looking to upgrade. They're looking to move on, and maybe they're looking to buy a vacation rental. Maybe they're looking to add to their investment property. You have to make sure that you are also avoiding those overused buzzwords. Motivated, passionate, and creative were this last year's top 3 overused buzzwords. So get creative with the words that you do use. We have tried to make sure that when we put together a description for what we're doing for any of our clients, that it's simply talking about what they do, what they offer, and as descriptive as possible. So I use a thesaurus a lot. Never, ever, ever be afraid to download one of those dictionary thesaurus apps on your phone when you're putting together descriptions for anything, whether it's property for yourself. It's find other words. It's a killer sometimes, but you can definitely do it. And also, don't white lie about your experience. Remember, the internet is forever. I had about a year and a half ago a cleanup of a LinkedIn page for someone who was called out by a former coworker that they did not have the position they had at a company. So make sure that when you're putting together your experience on LinkedIn, that you're avoiding any kind of little tiny fibs or anything like that. Okay, so those are the things that I definitely recommend that everybody does to make sure that you have a clean LinkedIn profile. Adding other things like requesting the pluses and things like that. Totally do those things, but you want to make sure that your profile is clean before you're asking for endorsements or any kind of reviews or anything like that. So now let's talk about the things that we can do to make sure that we are building a solid sales funnel. So craft a messaging strategy. A lot of people that I meet at different trainings and things will say, I have no idea what to do once I've connected with someone. And that's perfectly fine. But you want to sit down before you even get started with making new connections, because I learned this. I worked for someone where they said, go and get all these connections, and I had no idea what to do with all the connections once I had them. So you want to create a list that scores all of your recent connections, whether it's an A, B, C rating, or I think there was like somebody suggested a hot, warm, cold. Give them a score and then put them into specific categories. So once you've actually created those, you get a connection. This is an A potential lead. You've looked at their LinkedIn profile. Maybe you've looked at their Facebook. Maybe you've looked at their website to see what it is they do. Give them that rating and then send them, once you've connected, send them a hello email. It's really that simple. It's just, hey, thanks for the connection. I really appreciate you accepting my connection or connecting with me. I'd love to talk in the future. Don't forget to check out my website and then link to your stuff. That hello email is so welcome that 60% of the time people are more likely to reply positively if it's a concise hello email versus I get a lot of these 5 or 6 paragraph sales pitch emails when I connect with somebody, and I usually just end up not replying. So make sure that it's short and sweet. Hey, thanks for the connection. Great to get to know you. And then you add them to your social media calendar. I talk about this in every training because it's really important. Mike keeps up with his religiously. But definitely put together a social media calendar if you haven't already. And what I'll do is, once I connect with somebody, I will set myself a reminder. So the example I have here is, if I've recently connected with somebody, I'll put into my social media calendar, for example, in 2 weeks, send email to Mike B, topic, social media trends, and real estate. So I will set myself a reminder, and then I will remind myself of what the topic needs to be. I will do this with people who are, in my eyes, A connections. So if someone requests to connect with me and it looks like they could potentially need my services in terms of social media, web design, sales funnel management, I will make sure that I will send them an email in a certain specific period of time. Usually I'll wait a couple weeks. I don't want to seem too eager. I don't want to seem like I'm timing it. I want it to feel like it's organic. So set yourself a reminder in your social media calendar to send that person an email. It's kind of like setting up a drip email system in your CRM. So what I like to do is I like to come up with the skeleton or the base or the structure of 4 emails that I will drip out on a schedule. And obviously, LinkedIn hasn't yet created something where you can schedule posts in it. And there's a lot of third-party apps that allow you to do that. But I kind of feel like those end up coming off as a little inorganic. And you kind of want to make sure that the person that you're connecting with to email to feels like they're important to you and that they're an important business connection. So I like to come up with 4 emails, and I'll do them on varying topics. So one will be talking about recent social media trends, like I have in my example in the bullet point above. The next one will be introducing something cool that I've done recently. And they don't have to be necessarily pre-written and formulated out, but you can definitely just give yourself prompts of the things that you're going to write about as you do those 4 emails. So come up with topics. So first one would be social media trends for me. Second one would be something cool that Stark Social has done recently. Maybe we've just landed a really cool client. Maybe we've just had a great and successful email campaign. For real estate agents, it could be, hey, I just wanted to share with you that, I just made my, 100th home sold, and I'm really excited to celebrate. Let me know if you know anybody who's interested in selling a home. Can't wait to make it 101. So those types of things, when you're bragging about yourself in an email, are totally fine. Just don't make it so cookie cutter and obvious that it's something that's pre-written. And then for me, the third one would be, hey, I noticed that you're in such and such an area. If they're in your area, I like to invite people to have coffee, and people always want free coffee, so offer free coffee. If they're not in your area, here's what I like to do. I like to say, hey, I'm potentially traveling to your area, even if I'm not, in the next few months. Could you make some suggestions of places that you might recommend to stay and eat while I'm there? And then you've opened up the conversation to go outside of business. So you're creating that business friendship sort of molding through the email. And I guarantee you, I think I have a 90% success rate with that. Whenever I say, oh, hey, I might be traveling to your area, can you recommend some places? And then if they say, when are you coming? It's like, oh, I'll let you know. And it's, but then you start that conversation. Go, well, let me get your phone number. And once you have the phone number, then you can make a nice call and say, hey, I'm not going to be traveling to the area. It opens up a world of possibilities when you get these emails together and you design exactly what it is you want to do. One of the things I love that Mike does is he will send people free tips and information. So we use a tool called Feedly, and we'll have a training on that. I think it's in like 3 trainings. We'll have a training on that. He'll find an article and he'll send it to somebody and say, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. This is something really cool. Let me know what you think. And that also starts a dialogue and a conversation. So this can be just simply an organic message that you send to somebody. Very simple, very straightforward. And then you can send articles or information that are thoughtful and engaging. Maybe you noticed that your connection has a new job. Maybe you noticed that your connection got a promotion, or that they're unemployed or they're looking for work. And you can send them thoughtful tips and information or things that you see about their area that shows them that they are more than just a potential dollar sign to you. Remember, always, always remember when you're sending out emails that a connection equals a referral or a client. Whether or not they're an A, a B, or a C, they are always a potential referral. I get a lot of referrals. I think in the last, let's see, what is this? This is April. So in the last 4 months, I have gotten 6 referrals off of LinkedIn emails. 3 of them have become clients. So that is a really good success rate in terms of spending maybe 20 to 30 minutes twice a week replying or sending out emails that are thoughtful and apply to the person specifically once I've given them a ranking or a scoring in my system.
Deanna?
Yes?
Never mind.
Did I answer your question before you asked it?
Yep, that was it. I just wanted to remind the agents to be really active in the groups, because that's where most of my referrals and new business comes from. But you're going to talk about it right now, so I'll shut
No, it's fine.
up.
I'll do it.
That
Yeah,
last
no.
page you did, I have to compliment you highly on that last page, because that particular page you put together as far as messaging and communication, you guys have to go back and listen to that. Just rewind it back if you're listening to this recorded later, because that right there is $500,000 a year for a real estate agent. Just that page. And I'm not kidding you. If you really spent the time that page deserves, I guarantee you'll make $500,000 in real estate next year, because that is powerful. All the stuff she just said, all the tips and tricks we've gathered over the last couple of years doing this, that's where it's at. And the same goes for Facebook. But like I said, LinkedIn has a little bit of a more high end luxury uh, luxury clients, I guess you call it. So anyway, let's talk about these groups, because these groups are huge.
Groups. So absolutely what Mike said, luxury clients. In terms of the clients that I end up getting referrals from, we've done a lot of stuff with major like motion picture houses and production companies, because people have found us and we'll do, just straight out social media campaigns for the launch of a movie or a DVD or what have you. So there are a lot of people that are looking for professionals, and a couple of the different places they're looking for them, quite obviously, Mike says, is professional groups. And one of the things that I like to make sure that people realize is that a group, I think it was something like there's thousands of LinkedIn groups. When you find your LinkedIn group, this was a question that was asked. If you go to your profile, it's under interests. So you've got home, profile, my network, jobs, and interests. And under there is companies, groups, Pulse, education, SlideShare, and online learning. I'm going to do an actual mini sort of training that's going to go on YouTube about SlideShare, and I'll let you guys know in the group when that's up. It's just going to be a quickie, because I think a lot of people have questions, because SlideShare and LinkedIn are now together. And if you're not familiar with SlideShare, I'm just going to do a quick overview about what that is. But let's go back to groups. There are thousands and thousands of groups on LinkedIn. And groups were initially created as a means to network online. There are a lot of localized networking groups that are fantastic in your area. You can hop on these. What these do is they sort of mirror that. If any of you go to your local networking groups in your community, and you go to the cocktail mixers or what have you, this is an easy way to network with people either in your area or across the nation without having to leave the comfort of your iPhone or your iPad. And I find a lot of really cool articles and tips and information, and people who I have connected with who have sent me work or who have helped me in terms of being a referral source. So it's really, really, really amazing. And one of the things that people get really shy about is, what do I post? I always say, find 4 groups. Find 4 groups that do different things. So for real estate agents, I recommend, look for something that's like a networking group. So you have this one here that's on the screen, Real Estate Professionals Referral Group. Find 4 different groups that offer different things. And what you can do is you can join a group, look and see, some of them are private, some of them are open. Look and see what the conversations are like. Look and see who the members are. Look and see how many members it has, how many conversations it has on a regular basis, and then start to participate. See what the tone of the group is. Is it a lot of article sharing? Is it they're listing heavy? One of the things I like to recommend that you do is introduce yourself to the admin of the group. Make a connection with them and just ask them, hey, I'm new to this group. I was just wondering if there's rules. 9 times out of 10, there's rules that aren't published. So you just want to make sure that you're making connections with the admin of the group, whoever owns it, to make sure that you're following whatever rules or regulations they have in place. And then go into the group and introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Deanna. I'm a social media marketer, founder of Stark Social Media Agency. We are a boutique agency, and we specialize in small businesses, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs. And that usually will get people interested in talking to you and be like, oh, great, I love your website. Oh, and whatever. If you don't see a group for your area, for your specialty, for your expertise, create it. don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't join a group and then sit there and go like, well, this wasn't what I thought it was. Because I won't lie, there are a lot of groups on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Google Plus that are just sales, multi-level marketing type nonsense groups where everybody's trying to pitch something because they want to get your email, they want to build their own sales funnel, and they don't offer a lot of value. So if you don't see a group that is offering a lot of value in whatever your level of expertise is, whatever your area, your location, you're not seeing any Kansas City real estate professionals groups, then create your own. It's really, really easy. Once you've had a profile, I think for 30 days, you can create a group, and you just need to add a picture, you just need to add a description, you just need to invite people. And what I like to recommend people do when they create a group, and we've done this actually for a few clients, when you create the group, you want to invite your connections. This is another way to network with your potential connections. A lot of people are shy about the email method of marketing themselves to new connections. And this is a great way to dip your toes in the water and passively start to begin to connecting with people. What you want to do is start by offering your level of expertise once you've begun the group. So here is a blog post I wrote. Here is an article where I was featured talking about the state of the current market. Here's a presentation I put together. Here's yada, yada, yada. Here's the 10 things I did to get this listing. What did you do? Asking questions is always, always, always a guaranteed way to start a conversation. You'll notice here on the left-hand side, which are the most annoying issues you face as a property manager. That conversation right there got started and a bunch of people jumped in with commentary. So ask a question, provide expertise, and in that professional group, place yourself as, I say it over and over again, I never get tired of saying it, place yourself as the subject matter expert. Really, really, really important that you display confidence in what you do, who you are, and how you do it.
Those birds sure agree. They're all excited.
I know they're excited because I'm excited.
Are those outside the window? Is that what they are?
Yeah, I should just close the window before we get started, but I like the fresh air in the morning by my desk.
So loud. I'm like, oh my God.
Stinking birds. It'll be louder if I try and close the window though, because it'll slam. We'll edit that out later in post-production.
No way. Funny.
Tip
real.
number...
That's raw.
We're live. Tip number 8. This is publish on Pulse. For those of you that do not know what Pulse is, it is LinkedIn's publishing tool. So on the left-hand side here of Mike's post that he published, you'll notice all these different articles that were published by people that he follows or that are relevant to what he's doing. I think probably every single person that I've ever worked with on LinkedIn has no clue that they're actually able to publish on Pulse. And this is my big pet peeve. What Pulse is it's a conglomeration of professionals who are posting about their stuff. It can be, you can post your listings, you can post specials and deals, you can write a blog post, you could do market updates, all kinds of stuff that is relevant to your audience, and you can publish it on Pulse. It's one of those things that's under interests. LinkedIn used to have this waiting list thing where you had to sign up and they would then send you an email and say, hey, you can publish on Pulse. Now it's basically, they silently started rolling it out to everyone who has a website linked. So if you have a website linked in your profile, it's very likely that you have access to Pulse. So this is really, 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 really important, because what happens is LinkedIn has created this algorithm. And I know we hear the word algorithm and we start to think about Facebook and the nastiness that they put together. But this algorithm, basically what it does is it evaluates your post to see how relevant it is, if you've included any keywords, if you've tagged it properly, is your cover image cool, is it engaging, does it meet their standards? And then once you start to build up this regular posting, and I recommend, if you can, post like twice a month to get started. Don't commit yourself to every day or once a week or anything crazy like that. But twice a month, get something published on Pulse if you have access to it. And once you get your rhythm going with your posting and you start to learn exactly how long it should be, what should be included, you've got your keyword research down, you've got all these cool things done, you'll start to be included. And if you get those emails from LinkedIn that says, see what was posted today or see what's new on LinkedIn, I've actually had clients who have been featured in those. So it's getting into a rhythm, it's posting on a regular basis and making sure that you're posting. I like to get up early in the morning and post these for my clients, or late in the afternoon. Those are your best times to post on LinkedIn, because you're getting people who are looking for stuff first thing in the morning, or you're looking at hitting the people late in the afternoon who are getting ready to leave the office, or they're at that 2:30, 3 o'clock slump where they need their like 18th cup of coffee and a snack. So publish on Pulse. I absolutely love this in terms of awareness, content, people getting your face in front of them. It's a great way to engage with connections. It's a great way to share about and brag about yourself, and place yourself again as the subject matter expert. So look, Mike, you have a Pulse.
I like pulses. Is that what my surprise was, you said?
Yes, that's your surprise.
Oh man, I should have paid more attention. I was geeking out on my profile over here. It's hard to answer
Yeah,
all these questions and geek out on my profile and catch every darn thing. That's why I get to go back and listen to them.
you'll be listening to this later, I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the tip number 9 is customize connection requests. Now, it is really, really easy to add more people to your connections. You're just gonna tap on or click on this little guy with the plus sign next to him from wherever you're doing it, whether it's your mobile device or on your desktop. I like to actually do my LinkedIning on my desktop. I like to sit down at my iMac, and I've got my 20 minutes scheduled twice a week, so Mondays and Fridays. And I like to do it from my desktop with my cup of coffee. You can add people just by looking at people you may know. Based on your other connections, you can also find people through your Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or other mail. If you have Outlook, it's got it there. But what you want to do when this little box pops up when you're requesting to connect to somebody, be very thoughtful about what you're putting in here. It is super, super easy. It is super, super easy to say I'm their friend and just hit send an invitation. What that does is that ends up just sending them to your inbox, and there's no thought behind it. What I like to do is I will say, we've done business together. And what that will do is that will ask you if you have their email address. And if you do, great. If not, no big deal. We've done business together, or colleague, classmate, obviously, if you went to school with somebody. But even if you don't have any of those things, or you don't have their email, what I want, oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go back really quick. What I want you to do is I want you to customize this personal note here at the bottom. So if you're using Friend because you don't have their email address, or you do have an email address but it's not working, I want you to take the time to customize that message. That message right there is really, really important, because if this person is a new connection and they don't know you, this is their first impression of you. If all it says is, I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn, then obviously that's all that is. They know that it's auto-populated, that there's nothing thoughtful about it. I like to just write a quick little note, and what I'll do is I'll say, hey, this says Andy. I think this is just a screen grab from another training I did. Hey, Andy, I noticed that we're connected through Mike Bjorkman, and that you are working for blah, 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 blah. I'd love to learn more about what you do there. You know, shoot me an email back when you have a minute to chat, or, you know, like give me a call when you have a moment. I'd love to learn more about what you do there, and how maybe we can partner together. And that is a great way to open up a conversation. You can also say, hey, Andy, I noticed we're connected through Mike Bjorkman. Notice that you're working at X, Y, and Z. I'm in the area on such and such a date, would love to have coffee with you. I have gotten, if you offer to buy people coffee, even if it doesn't end up turning into a client relationship, I have gotten so many referrals for potential business that it's crazy. Just offering people from this first initial email just to say hi, let's talk on the phone. I'd love to learn more about what you do. I noticed that you recently moved. Hey, congratulations on your new job. Anything that's really simple and easy puts people at ease. And that's really the number one thing when you're trying to engage a potential client relationship, is putting people at ease so that they feel comfortable learning about what you do and what you offer and how you can help. So definitely customize that connection request, and avoid doing anything that's just simple and cookie cutter. You want to make yourself stand out from the rest. Create a custom URL. So this is one of those things that I get asked a lot. So it is my last thing I'm going to talk about. It is really, really, really important that this LinkedIn URL, this domain that they give you, is not just the linkedin.com/in/35692841078 blah, 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 because that doesn't make you searchable. You want to make sure that you have claimed your custom domain, and you can pretty much do, you can do your name, you can do a combination of things, you can do a first initial and your last name, you can do, we've got Mike Bjorkman HomeSmart. So all you're going to do when you're in there editing your profile is you're going to, there's a little wheel that shows up on the right side when you're looking at it. You're going to click on the link, you're going to click on the little settings wheel, and that's going to open this up. And right here, you can change how this appears on your public profile. The other cool thing about this is that you can take that link, and like Mike said earlier, you can pretty much put it anywhere. You can put it in your signature. You can put it on your website. You can put it in a Facebook group. In fact, what I would love to do today when we're done is I'll put up a post, and everybody share their, in the Facebook group today, in the Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series, I'll put up a post and everybody share their LinkedIn addresses, and we can all connect with each other. And you can practice on me, sending emails or asking questions. How does this look? I do that a lot for people. So make sure that you're taking advantage of this custom URL. The other thing is, when you're editing your LinkedIn profile, they've got this, you'll look just below this on the right-hand side, customize your public profile. There's a lot of things that LinkedIn is starting to offer because they want more and more business professionals to utilize the tool for not just for recruiting and hiring people, but as a networking hub. They want professionals to engage with each other in a place that is different from Facebook. LinkedIn is definitely not the place to share your cat videos or the vacation snapshots or any of that stuff. You want to keep those things on your Facebook, on your Instagram, your personal Twitter if you have one that's different from your business one. But you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. If you've ever been on a job interview, it's just like that. This is like I say, your website, if you have one, is your resume, and your social media is your references. This is like a whole other type of resume. People will come to look at this stuff, and they want to make sure that they can find you. They want to make sure that everything is clean and well written. So definitely utilize whatever tools that you can to make sure that you have your LinkedIn profile clean and precise and dialed in as much as you possibly can. And with that, dear lady says, cheers, you made it.
Yay!
I was wondering where you went.
I'm around, I swear. Let's see here. Questions. One thing I wanted to point out to agents that I use a lot is the Connected app for LinkedIn. It's the simplest way to just go to your LinkedIn and congratulate people, birthdays, all that stuff. You just swipe it and just boom, 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 boom. Every morning I get up and it takes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes to congratulate everybody, wish them happy birthdays. Professional people that aren't on Facebook's really good with birthdays, but man, if you're a professional guy that doesn't really roll in a social place, I bet you where there's a lot more people, that get noticed wishing for happy birthdays and whatnot. So the Connected app is a good app to get. So we're talking about the social calendar, and I want to send a web. Well, man, all right, let's just start out there. We're gonna do webinars. We're gonna do webinars for listing presentations. Do you think it's appropriate to put the advertisement for a listing presentation in either your LinkedIn feed or private messages? Either, any of them.
Yeah, well, if you're sharing your listing presentation, I would definitely put it as an attachment in a message that you're sending to someone. But you can also, add it to your summary. If you have it, let's say you have it in if you did it in a PowerPoint and you put it into a video, or you can add it as a file on your LinkedIn profile. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but I definitely recommend adding anything that supports how awesome you are at what you do. So if you have a really killer listing presentation, you have a really killer video, any of those things that can support, it's basically, it's evidence of why you should be hired for what you do. I definitely recommend adding that to the key places on your profile for sure. But then also it can be sent as an attachment on a message to somebody who is a potential client.
Oh my God. My friends are always so screwing with me on this.
So no, I'm getting all these text messages. What is this?
Oh, it's so funny. Okay. So what else do you want to know about LinkedIn? How in the world, based on my profile, how do I find out how many connections that I truly have?
Oh, you want to know that number? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I have 5,000 Facebook friends. I want to know how many LinkedIn friends I have.
All right. So if you want to know how many LinkedIn friends you have, you're going to go, or LinkedIn connections you have, you're going to go to your profile. And when you look at your profile, if you're on the app, for example, you've got your name, you've got your heading, you've got maybe your education, your location. On the right over there of your location, there's a little dot and it says 500 plus on mine.
Yeah.
So that's where it will show you've got 500 plus. It usually rounds them up. Let me see if there's a better way. because I'm looking at the app right now.
Yeah, me too. And I can't see where
Ah,
the heck you're saying that.
there it is. So, okay. So, for example, my activity, I have 855 followers. So, if you're looking at your profile on your app,
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It says I have
there's your,
3,117 followers. Is that total or is that just for that post?
yeah, no, well, let's see, your activity. Yeah. So, I have 855 connections. So, that's 800. Yep.
Okay, good question. So I'm not happy with that number. I want it a lot higher. So I need to focus more on posting um, more interesting stuff, right? And then I need to reach out to people through groups, search more groups, and get more active then.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's the same sort of principle I think we talked about last time in terms of when you have connections that, I have somebody who had, I think it was like 2,000 something connections. And she had no idea, being somebody on the East Coast who was getting started in her industry. She had no idea who half of those people were, and most of them weren't even relevant to her business.
Right.
So make sure that your connections are relevant to what you're doing and that they're a value add to your sales funnel versus, I have 2,000 connections and it's just a number. I'm not even sure who these people are.
Huh. Okay, yeah, because I guess. Hmm.
It's always fun when I stump you.
Can the public see how many connections I have?
They can, but you can also go into your settings and you can change what people can and cannot see.
Ah, all right. So let's talk about security settings. Do you recommend that? So if one of my agents is new to LinkedIn and they have like 6 connections today, wouldn't you recommend hiding that until they get a more robust profile?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you do
Whenever I
that, you
start,
guys, everybody on my team listening, get in your settings and do that if unless you have thousands like I don't know.
and I'll do a quick tip about it on how to change your settings. I just didn't want to spend the whole presentation talking about how to change your settings. I think we did that in a previous LinkedIn one that we
Yeah.
did last year.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions or you're not sure how to change those settings and you want to make your profile a little bit more locked down because you're just getting started, message me and I'll make sure that I send you that quick tip once I get it posted.
Cool. All right, guys. So remember to publicly, through social media, thank Deanna at Stark Social for this presentation. She deserves, for spending all this time, a little pat on the back to help her get her name out there. And maybe she can find, oh my gosh, Brent, leave me alone. And then maybe she can. Not only is he making fun of stuff on the questions, now he's sending emails popping up about topics. Anyway, so thank Deanna social media wise, publicly, please, you guys, because she really deserves it. And Brent just said you rock too. And then we'll see you next week for Google AdWords. You guys, I can't begin to tell you how important this is. And if I was a normal real estate agent, I would hide this like crazy and not let any of you know about it. But since I'm a broker and I'm trying to expand my company and your business, you guys, this is a big secret that's highly kept by the top agents in the country, and you're not going to want to miss it. So until then, we'll see you all next week, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you.
Bye.